I wasn't going to do a video on Sorry Not Sorry by Joey Badass. You might be wondering why I loved talking about his last song, The Ruler's Back, but I just hate the expression Sorry Not Sorry. I remember the first time I heard it and it made me really angry. I really think apologies are underrated. In my household, we have a saying, no sorry buts. You know, if you say sorry, no conjunctions afterward. Just say sorry, and then later, if there's something else you want to say, bring that up outside the context of an apology. So just the whole idea of sorry not sorry kind of bugged me. And beyond that, basically all of my Culture United super friends have covered this song pretty well and gone through bar for bar. But I've got reasons. So here are my 3 reasons why I'm going to be reviewing this song. Number 1, and this is an important one, this song is great. Like, I see the commentary, people saying, he's clout chasing, stop clout chasing. If this is clout chasing, can we have all the clout chasing? I don't know what it takes for rap music this good to get attention. I know that Kendrick Lamar figured out a way to have really high quality rap music get attention, and it seems as though Joey Badass is figuring out some way. This is, as I speak, number 16 on trending music. So for all music on YouTube, it's number 16. And part of the reason I want to talk about this song is I am resisting the terrible, terrible, terrible urge to do something which I know will get me tens of thousands of clicks if I go after that song by Roseanne and Tom MacDonald. Okay? Tom Arnold? Tom MacDonald? Whatever his name is. Okay? I don't want to give that song any more oxygen. Okay? It's hard because it is... Roseanne Barr legitimately was a working class hero. Like one of the most staunch fighters for the class war on behalf of the working and lower classes that popular culture has ever seen. Roseanne Barr is in the pantheon of that. And now she is doing literal blackface in a music video. So I know you're saying it's not literal blackface, Sky, because they didn't literally paint their face black. Everything but. Okay, when the history books are open in 10 years and they look back at that, they'll go, "Oh wow, they were doing blackface!" Like everybody just knew it. It was like a thing that people accepted. So I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about good stuff. This is Thank You for Auditing the Always Positive New Music Review Show, hosted by a French professor. I want to stay positive, and Joey Badass. This is his year. I want to quote what is called the Hecht prophecy. Okay, it comes from the region of Canada known as Winnipeg, where Jeremy Hecht predicted at the end of last year this was going to be Joey Badass's year. We're 22 days in, and I think it's starting to look like that could be possible. If he follows up all of this with a great album, what more can we say? Speaking of people whose year it is it not possible that it is Conductor's year? This is my Conductor Williams Lego set that I got for Christmas. I didn't think I would need it this many times, but hey, we got 2 Joey Badass songs and that one Drake song. And what do the 2 great Joey Badass songs and the one bad Drake song have in common? Wonderful beats by Conductor Williams. Maybe this is Conductor's year. And the third reason is I'm East Coast. I'm claiming the East Coast side of this friendly fade, And listen, I'm from Boston, and Boston, okay, I would like to say that we're not bandwagon fans, but everyone's a bandwagon fan. But still, okay, so the Celtics aren't as good as the Thunder this year. The Red Sox, on paper, are not as good as the Los Angeles Dodgers, also on the field and off the field. By every single possible metric. But I've got to represent for my area. So I want to try to cover and give some shine to whatever's positive in East Coast rap music. And there's not a lot of it in the mainstream here to be super happy about, and this is one of them. That's, of course, I'm not trying to get into some kind of beef with the West Coast. I mean, Curtis King did that awesome diss track on Joey Badass where he cited my name against the whack YouTubers. So, And another caveat, in the last video I got some comments saying this white man wants black men to kill each other. No, I do not. I want the competitive art, A-R-T, not the competitive blood sport, the competitive art to breathe and to live and to be the fun thing that it can be when it is competitive and fun and nonviolent. So I'm not looking out here for any real pain. The second there's any real pain, I am out. Okay? So us talk about this song. Let's talk about why I'm so happy about it. I made this comparison on the Culture United last episode. There's the famous movie The Warriors, directed by Walter Hill. Great film director. The Driver, one of my favorite movies. Really great. Streets of Fire. He's a really underrated director. Last Man Standing. He's done some really great movies. But anyways, The Warriors is maybe his most famous. And it's all about like all these gangs of New York getting together. And there's this famous scene where this leader of the gangs talks about how they're going to take over the city. And you know, you've heard it quoted so many times on rap albums. Can you dig it? And I picture that song. I picture the Rulers Back as you know, Joey Bada standing on top of a pile of like crushed cars in front of a whole field with the spotlights on him, saying, "Can you dig it?" And then you just hear crickets. You just hear like some homeless guy in the back like shuffling around like one of the the trash cans that's lit on fire in the movies. like. I don't know. He got the West Coast to wake up a little bit, but he hasn't really successfully provoked the East Coast into saying, no, I'm the king of New York. He's saying Brooklyn all over the place. What's going on, Queens? Do you not have self-respect? Do you not want to say, there's no way a Brooklyn guy can be the king of New York? It's got to be a Queens guy. Harlem, Staten Island, Yonkers, Meatpacking District. Let's put it to the whole tri-state area, okay? Let's have someone from Buffalo claim they're the king of New York. From Newark, But anyways, I think him putting this song, basically doing a back-to-back, where you would think that some other rapper would have joined into the fray, had fun, got the juice, got the what is it that the other Canadian, the not good one, says? Motion. You could get motion on your career by putting out a little song, a little diss track, but no one did it. So he just, and by the way, don't worry about the crying. That's just my 6-month-old. She's going to bed. She's a little grumpy. She sometimes gets a little grumpy, but my wife's up there with her. That's the sound of the West Coast crying because Joey Badass just... Anyways, so Joey Badass basically did the Thanos thing and said, fine, I'll do it myself. And actually, I'm a teacher, and I used to be a student. So when I was in high school, I was a bad student. I never raised my hand. And then when I went to college, I realized, what the hell am I doing? Why am I wasting my time? If I know the answer, I'm going to raise my hand. So I was that kid in college, which might not surprise you, where the teacher would ask a question, and I was trying to be cool. So I'd like, wait a second, and then I'd raise my hand, and then he'd say, great, or she'd say, great, and then she'd ask another question. And I'd be like, well, I don't want to raise my hand again. But no one else is raising their hand. At this point, it's just getting to be a little bit boring. I'm getting the sneaking suspicion that they did not do all the reading. I'm just going to, because I would actually like to talk about this, I'm going to raise my hand and talk. And now that I'm a college professor, I find myself in that same position on the other side, where I'm like, all right, that's, okay, yes, Rashana, I know you know the answer. I know you know the answer, but we're just going to see if anyone else in this class, they don't know the answer. All right, Rashana, what's the answer? So in a way, that's sort of what Joey Badass is doing. Like, he raised his hand, he said, I'm present, I'm here, and then there was some dead space, and he's coming back to answer the question, to answer the bell. All right? And listen, there hasn't really been a West Coast response. I know there has been. I'm not putting down Daylight or the rest. A lot of that stuff is great. Okay, stylistically, a lot of it's better than what Joey Badass is doing. But, Joey Badass is in a different realm. He has sold hundreds of thousands of albums in his career, okay? Like, that's a big difference. So, like, again, I reference this, I think I referenced this in Culture United as well. Read My Soul has a great video all about the missing middle class in hip-hop. The non-superstars, non-underground guys. There used to be a lot of people like that. Joey Badass is the perfect example of what that looks like. That is the middle class example par excellence. And we don't have a middle class response from the West Coast. We have underground response from the West Coast, which is great, because that'll get some, underground New Yorkers going, but it's like, this could be this thing. And I think it still might be. That's what I'm hoping. I hope it becomes this thing where over the year, people get their ass together and they just start realizing, wait a minute, we can be 1/100th as popular as Tom McDonald and Roseanne Barr if we make a song and we pretend like we're mad at New York or pretend like we're mad at LA. It's not clout chasing, it's just engaging with the art form. So, anyways, here he is. He's stepping up for the coast. I love the beat. I love the switch. Again, Conductor Williams is having this moment as long as he doesn't get the Drake taint. As I said before, I'm afraid of Drake's taint. I don't want Conductor to taint Drake. I mean, to be tainted by Drake, but I assume the allure of working with Drake is too great. So we'll have to see. But this song, first of all, just production-wise, he's not afraid to be chill. It's a chill song. Oh my God. That's a meme, isn't it? I'm a chill guy meme. I don't get that meme. Like normally when I don't get memes, I look them up and then I go, oh, that's kind of funny, Even the little racist frog thingy, like I kind of get why that's funny. I don't get why the chill guy thing is funny. Anyways, this song is not afraid to be chill. It starts off with a soul sample. It's these just like what I love is that like it starts off with the soul sample and then there's the beat change and then it becomes a jazz sample. Like they're two very distinct parts, but both parts are very, very chill. And what I love is there's an actual movement to the song. It's actually a pretty well constructed song because it starts very local, very one place, and then it ends cosmically. Like he literally starts with his exact address and then he's ending and he's talking about the heavens. And that's a pretty neat trick. Starts off with this lyric, they effed around, woke up the starseed from Marcy. Who's they? Who fucked around and woke up the starseed? Who woke you up, Joey? That's my question. Who woke you up? Like, was it Kendrick? Is that what you're saying? Because Kendrick wasn't talking to you. Like, he woke himself up. But anyways, that doesn't matter. He's talking about Marcy, and he's making a lot of references to Jay-Z, and I think it's important because he makes it clear from the streets of Marcy, not from the actual Marcy projects. Rob Markman breaks down that quite well, which is you should listen to him because he's from one of the 5 boroughs, and I am from Boston. I can tell you about the difference between Watertown and Arlington if you'd ever like to hear. He gives his exact address, 51 Hart Street, 193 Vernon Avenue, and then takes the shot at NWA, bigging up my city. That's something I had to do. And I like it. He has this whole reference to, which is what's getting most of the attention, saying, might delete later, I know damn sure that Joey won't. I don't think this is like trying to engage with Jermaine Cole. I think it's more doing the thing that a lot of people did when J. Cole erased the song. Just saying, foul. Like, no, not okay to erase the song. Like, you just can't delete it. Like, you have to either do it and stand on it or not do it. Or, do it and stand on it and then say you were wrong or something. But deleting it? And he says the line, I want all the smoke. And I like that. I like that because that's the sense you get from him, that he's essentially, the 1930s boxer. Put him up. He's got that kind of energy going. And that's the point, right? That's the competitive art of hip-hop is there. So awesome. The audacity of this, he must be out of his mind, haunted by the ghost of Biggie and Pac, I'm them combined. What's funny is that is more offensive to me than Kanye West saying he's God. You know what I mean? Because, like, there was a time where I was like, it's possible that Kanye is God. There's right around that, like, there's a, come on. I'm not saying right now, but there was a point where you just heard him and you're just, oh my, it might be. But there's never been, will never be a point where you go, you know who Joey Badass is? He's like Biggie and Pac combined. But that's okay. That's what you want. Do you understand? Like, you want every rapper to say that. You want every rapper to think that. That's the competitive nature of it. And, I'm not a hip-hop guy, right? Like, I study the culture, but I'm not of it. But I really appreciate that competitive nature, and that's part of who I am as well. I have that kind of competitive hip-hop nature within myself. Like, when I give a speech at an academic conference, I'm trying to murder these academics. Like, seriously. Like, if I'm on a panel, I want everybody in the panel who goes after me to go, oh, I didn't want to go after that guy. And I do it every time. I want to kill them. Oh my God. It's awesome, you know? And I'm just sitting there talking about, the development of the word insidious in 17th century grammar novels. But I don't care. I'm out there to kill, you know? And there's not that many things out there. Basically, anything with public speech you can get that way. So, all right. Spent years minding minds, out of sight, out of mind. If any of my colleagues watch me, yeah, I act all, bashful. Oh, gee, thanks. When really I think, I swear so divine, properly aligned, this little light of mine, promise I'm going to let it shine. I love this for multiple reasons. One, it reminds me of Ultralight Beam with Chance the Rapper. By the way, okay, we have the Hecht prophecy. The Sky prophecy is we're all going to come back on the Chance train. We're all going to go, oh yeah, he made one album that we didn't like and we decided that Chance was trash. Chance the Rapper, have you been hearing his songs lately? They're pretty good. Everything that he was, he still can be. You know, we have enough of this generation who have disappeared, sold out, or died. He's still around. He's still the guy you love. He made one album where he maybe... Anyways. But, obviously it's a reference to the gospel song and it's a long time sign. But I love this idea of like, I'm gonna let it shine and I'm gonna blind them. And this is one of the earliest references in the song to anything Christian or anything spiritual, because that's the other part of the song. It's like a put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up. But then it's also a prayer song. And I like it because he's leaving his flank open, okay? He's saying like all this stuff about Pac and Biggie, like... You think Oakland's going to let you disrespect Pac? You think New York's going to let you disrespect Biggie? You think that people are going to let you like refer to yourself basically as someone who's on the first name basis with God? He is begging to be slapped. That's what he's doing. And it's great. He's putting his chin out there and he's saying, no one can hit me. I've even got a little billy goat beard. No one can hit me. I'm Joey Badass. But I think he's trying to get people to get at him, which is great. It's good for him. It's good for the people who do it. It's good for the art. We get more Conductor. We get more rhymes. We get less Roseanne Barr. We get less Drake. We get less... Anyways. And then we have the little laughter, which I think it might be the Thriller laughter. I can't tell. Conductor Williams does a lot of stuff with Thriller. He's obsessed with Michael Jackson. I don't know if it's that laugh. I think it's supposed to sound like it. And then just listen. Okay? I know. Conductor Williams releases a lot of beats, and we all know that he's great and good and wonderful. But would you just take a second and listen to this second half of this beat? It has no business being this good. The opening bit with this jazz drums and this muted trumpet that goes away after the beginning and this tinkling piano where you never know if it's going to really settle or figure out where it is or what it's doing, and then he just knows how to warble it just right. And then we get the second verse where he starts, quoting What's Beef by Biggie, or sort of paraphrasing What's Beef. It's interesting talking about the Tupac and Biggie. The first lesson I ever gave in a classroom, I was an English teacher in France, and I asked my students, this was in 2000. I was 23 years old, and I had a bunch of high school students in Marseille, France, Lycée Saint-Charles, and I said, what do you want to learn about? And they all said Tupac. I was like, all right, not bad. My first lesson that I ever gave was a lesson on the song Dear Mama by Tupac. The first line of the song is What's Beef? When I was younger, my mama and I had beef. So literally the first question that everybody asked me, the first question I was ever asked as a teacher was, Professor Skyrock, what is beef? Because they thought it meant like buff, And yeah, I did say, well, beef is when you make your enemies start your Jeep. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. I did kind of play around with the fact that there's a Biggie song. I mean, I said that just for 1 second, then I explained it meant a conflict between people. So I like that. I like that being in there. Cat got his tongue. Can't tell if he's talking about Kendrick. This is my prediction on the third song. Listen, hey, are you watching? Does Joey watch me? I don't think he does. I don't think Conductor Williams watches me either. Absol watched me, though. That was cool. He gave me a shout-out on his Genius thing. That was, like, a highlight. Anyways, I think there's going to be like, because everyone's saying say his name, say his name. I think there's going to be a part where it's going to just lead up to like a mustard style mustard. I think it's going to be Joey just screaming Kendrick's name, trying to get it. But what I think he's trying to do is he's trying to get enough motion. He's trying to get enough motion to make it work, you know? And I think that's really interesting that he's trying to get enough motion. And then we have all this religious stuff, trying to pick you P word, N words, plotting all along. Yeah, like not today, Satan. In fact, God and me and God been having great conversations, smiling constellations every day is new thoughts, new observations. I got to move forth, no time for wasting. Love it. The whole thing is great. This is great rap music that is popular. This is what we want, everybody. Let's just calm down with the clout chasing and just admire the fact that a good rapper managed to find some ears. And the video was killer. So the last video was all sopranos, okay? It was all sopranos. It was in New Jersey or Long Island or somewhere outside the city. And the first verse was talking about how he's outside in the city in one of those big, monstrous McMansions with this big, ugly car and this big, ugly land and this big, ugly woods and just the kind of, it had that weird kind of emptiness of that kind of super wealth in the hinterlands of the New York area. Here, he's all Godfather, okay, or at least, you know, all Godfather 2. You know, like the restaurant, I think he's dressed in that white suit and he's got the gold tooth. I think he's trying to look like Don Fanucci, the black hand from Godfather 2, the guy, you know, who's walking around with the apple with the jacket over him. You've seen Godfather 2, right? Oh, Jesus, you haven't seen Godfather 2? Okay, well, it's okay. It's all right. You're young. You're young. I didn't watch Godfather 2 until I was like in my late 20s. But put that on your list. And then when you see Don Fanucci, you'll get it. You know, as opposed to being out in the middle of the woods, he's there in Brooklyn with the whole like 90s vibe of just a bunch of dudes. You know, like that was how rap was done. Like a bunch of dudes just hanging around, just being there in the stairwells, on the stoop. My 2-year-old, she loves Sesame Street. I had to explain to her what a stoop was. You know, we live out here in the suburbs. We don't have stoops. We need stoops. So they're on the stoop. They're on the street. They're in the snow. Just beautiful snow. If you are subscribed to me and not subscribed to Open Mike Eagle, you are doing something wrong with your life, okay? he spends like 5 minutes talking about Joseph Badman's pants, and I can't do the bit justice. I'm just telling you, like if you love Video Game Donkey and you love hip hop, you just have to check out Open Mike Eagle. Oh my God. Anyways, and then the whole second half is in black and white. Like it changes. Like it goes from this whole like posse cut to this black and white. Sitting in the chair allows that beard to become like a silhouette. It's way more artistic. What's interesting is the way that it's filmed, because it's filmed well, because it's made by artists who care about what they're doing, okay? It's not a mockery of hip-hop. He looks up. The whole first verse, he's looking right at the camera and he's mad dogging you. The second verse, he's constantly looking up because he's basically talking to Jesus, having a great conversation after letting his light shine. And then he says sweet gospel music. And it's like this whole semi-Christian angle on this beef rap. It's awesome. It's awesome. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, the East Coast is 2-0 on this beef. That Daylight song was pretty good. I really like the Curtis one as well. Anyways, we're all winning in this thing. And also, Jesus Christ, the dude's 30 years old. Do you know how many rappers I wish were allowed to make it to 30 years old? Just of his generation. God damn. So not only do we have to allow rappers to age, but we have to really celebrate, especially like 30 to 40, because most rappers, when they die young, don't even make it to the late 20s, you know? Anyways, I've been thinking too much about death. That damn Mac Miller album. Like, Mac Miller made it a long time for a rapper who died young, and he died at 26. You know, there's the whole 27 club. Most rappers don't make it to 27 if they die young. So thank God for Joey Badass. What am I talking about at this point? All right, until next time. Did you want to see Bo? You could see Bo. I got mad at Bo earlier because he was just licking, and I was trying to start the video, and he licked super loud. Well, he's a good boy. You can tell Bo he's a good boy. You can smash the like bucket. You can subscribe. Toby, you're not such a good boy. That's why I have to have the Toby gate over there, because Toby straight up eats my vinyl. He just eats it. There's the camera.